Hey guys, Ningen here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and I thought I'd throw this video together just to put up now. This video should go live, I think, about 12 hours before the Beerus banner comes out on Global, and this is basically for those of you who want to get as prepared as possible if you are summoning, or maybe not. There's some other options, like you might be wanting to buy a copy of Cooler, and there's some things you can do to maximize your efficiency, I guess. Because obviously on Global, as of like this moment now, if you're watching the video when it drops, there's not a huge amount of stuff to do if you've been doing all the missions and things that are out already. So it's a good time to spend some of that stamina to get yourself into a good position for tomorrow after the banners drop. So let's have a look. Did I put this in the first slot? So we got Beerus is obviously the big main unit. I've got everyone in their SSR form, like the way you would actually pull them from the banner. So, unfortunately, Beerus doesn't have a farmable super attack. There is no free-to-play Beerus. The only Beerus that even kind of counts as free-to-play, sort of, I guess, is the World Tournament one. But there's no farmable Beerus. But, obviously, if you are going to summon on the banner, because, I mean, you won't get this Beerus if you don't, there is a featured Tech SSR Beerus and an SR Beerus. So, depending on how many multis you do, chances are you're potentially going to pull a few of these guys, and those can work in towards the super attack. There is also an SR Whis, so again, depending on how many summons you do, you might pull extra copies of them that you can use as Kais. But unfortunately, the main meat of the video is not going to be about Beerus. There is no farmable Beerus. However, Beerus is good enough that he definitely deserves the 9 Kais. I can't remember what the last physical Easy A we had was, but potentially might have some of those physical type Kais laying around. But yeah, he's definitely worth the Kai investment, obviously. So the next one that we move on to is the STR Wiese. Very, very good. Like if you decide to drop like 1 or 2 multis on the Beerus banner just to see, and you pull this Wiese and not the Beerus, definitely don't be disappointed, because Wiese is incredibly good. And then of course Wiese does have the farmable SSR from the Hero Extermination event, which I believe is on all the time now. It's just on every day. Because some of the new like Easy A's and Easy Area units revolve around stuff from this, so I think because of that it's now on all the time. And I think it's stage, is it 20? Yeah, in 20, in Defiance of the Heaven, you fight God Goku, then you fight Beerus, Whis and God Goku, and it has the potential chance to get the Whis. I always used to see back in the day questions about this stage. People would post a picture of the info asking if the Kai was farmable, because it shows on the rewards list. But yeah, obviously you only get the Kai the first time you ever beat this stage. But then you can farm the Whis. The drop rate is not great. So in preparation for this exact, I'm doing this exact thing. So yesterday I used all of my boosts, did the 3 runs on this stage, and then did I think 3 or 4 runs afterwards, and I only got 3 copies of him to drop. So the drop rate is not incredible, but the good thing is he does drop as an SSR, so obviously that means you don't have to put any training items or investment or anything like that into him. You can, if you want to, level him up to UR, and then it would be a 100% chance to level up the super. In a way, I think that it might be worth doing that, like just getting the 9 copies of this Whis and then making him UR, because the drop rate is so bad. You don't want to farm up like 20 copies and then get shafted by the 50% chance and not get him to SA10. So if you have the training items and the medals, I think it's probably worth just URing 9 copies. That's what I'm planning to do. So I would say go ahead and do that. So the other big thing for the banner, now I know he's not a new unit, he is coming back for the first time on Global with this banner, as long as they don't change it, because obviously the problem with Global banners is we won't know until the banner comes out if there's going to be any changes. But I don't think they'll remove Cooler. They want people to summon on this banner to drain their stones before the 5 year, and I think the fact that Cooler is on it is like another big pull for people to want to summon. So I don't think he'll be off the banner. So maybe you're not going to summon at all, you're saving your stones for the 5 year, but you've been waiting for this chance. You can now buy a copy of Cooler with the red coins. He's definitely a unit that I think is deserving of it. Like if you don't have LR Gohan or LR Cell, I think maybe saving your coins for the 5 year is better if you know you can get up to 500 coins during the 5 year summons. But this guy is a unit definitely worth spending your coins on, and he does have a farmable super attack. Technically he has 2. bring up the other one. But this is the Strongest Rivals event. It's not on at the moment. Dokkan might be kind and have this event be one of the random ones that comes back when the new celebration starts. But obviously, otherwise, you just have to use keys. His drop rate is much better because this stage has an increased drop team, which is Wicked Bloodline. So obviously you can bring units like the free-to-play LR Frieza, the King Coldham Frieza LR from the Barbershop, Metal Cooler from the Barbershop, the Battlefield shop, and Metal Cooler as well. So the team has like 3 free-to-play LRs, so you can build your team boost pretty high, and then farm stage 5 for the copies of Cooler. Let me check on. It's probably up here. They're cool, yeah, Cooler cards. So the other thing you can do is there is this Cooler who's in the barbershop. I know a lot of people. I've been meaning to make a video on it for a while, but like the Incredible Gems shop stuff really needs an update because there's basically nothing worth getting. We know this guy's getting an easy A in the future, so I would say make sure you've bought the copies to open up his 4 paths, because you'll definitely want this guy fully maxed out when you easy A him. But there's a whole bunch of copies available in the shop. If you have like thousands of green gems and you're feeling a bit too lazy to farm, or maybe you farmed up like the Whis and now you're out of stamina, you can always buy a couple of copies of him with the green gems. But for Cooler specifically, I definitely think farming him is the better idea because the drop rate is really, really good. So I think I farmed as soon as we found out he was getting an easy A, I farmed mine up the other day. So his drop rate was much, much better to get the tech one. So I would go ahead and do that personally. So then the other thing we have, of course, is LR Crillon is dropping on Global. Now, some of you might be thinking, oh, why would you need to farm this guy's super attack? Like, you can just farm the copies of him from the event, which is true. But one of the things, I know a lot of people like to go ham and try and get these Prime Battle LRs done as quickly as possible. So, of course, remember that Stage 1, this event, when it drops on Global, has no increased drop like category. Stage 1 costs you 10 stamina. So, if you do 10 runs of Stage 1, bear in mind you want to get 4 copies to open his paths. And then you do want to work on a second one, right? So you need another copy. So you need 6 copies of the base Crillon card, and then you need to get both of those to SA 10. So you could run this stage 10 times, and maybe you'll only get like 6 drops. So that's going to have cost you 100 stamina. I feel like personally, once you get the first copy, the 4 copies to open his paths, and then the spare copy that you're going to get up to SA 10, then you want to use your stamina by just straight away starting to farm the medals, so you can get the medals to get him up to TUR, and then of course you will be ready on your path to farm up the 777 medals to get him to LR. So if we do have a look at the Crillon cards, this Crillon is farmable from the Bio Broly story event. He does drop as an SR though, so you do need to put some training items and some medals into him to get him up to SSR, which then gives you a 50% chance. So you could get unlucky, you could train up, use medals and items, get like 10 of these guys to SSR, and then only get like 4 SA raises if you get some bad RNG. So there is that possibility. The other thing you can do, just like the Cooler, if you're super flush for Incredible Gems and you have nothing to spend them on, this Crillon is available in the barbershop for 300 gems. He doesn't even have a TUR yet, does he? No. So bear in mind, of course, this guy could get an awakening in the future, but I feel like even if he does, he's not going to be better than the LR. So I think if you end up buying a bunch of copies out of the barbershop just to use as SA food, it's not something you're probably going to regret in the future, because even if he gets a TUR, it's not going to be better than the LR. So you could go ahead and do that. And then the other option, if you really are crazy, because I definitely wouldn't do this, but this guy is obviously available from the Battlefield shop for 70,000 gems. So, yeah, you definitely don't want to be buying copies of this guy to use as a Kai. The funny thing is, I actually never bought a copy of this guy because I was saving for when we knew LR, Frieza, and King Cold was going to come out. And of course, now that we're getting the LR, like, I definitely will never use this guy. So I will probably end up never having a copy of this guy in my box because I just don't want to waste the Battlefield gems on buying him. And then, of course, the other option, if you have a ton of barber points. Now, this is something you obviously can't farm because you need to wait for the reset in the barber shop to keep happening, which I guess you can pay gems for, but you definitely don't want to do that. So this guy, available from the barbershop, 30,000 barber points. If you've been playing the game for quite a while, that's not a huge amount, especially if you, like me, are always selling off your SRs and SSRs that you already have, like Rainbowed or Easy 8 or whatever. So this guy, you could pick up a bunch of copies. I think I've been picking up a few along the way, but the idea for me was that I was going to eventually train them up and feed them into the int one when I eventually got him to add to my collection. But then, of course, the LR Crillon became a thing. So I was like, oh, well, I definitely don't need the int one anymore, because the int one is good, but I mean, he's not an LR, right? So I feel like you can go ahead and prioritize this guy, but you just don't want to be wasting battlefield gems to buy copies to feed into him. So I'm not sure if this event is actually up right now. I should have checked that. I don't have the game open, but this guy is the only one that you can actually quote unquote farm by playing story events, but you do need to put a bunch of item and medal investment and stuff into him, whereas the other ones you don't. So I think if you were going to ask me what should you do if you had the resources, I would say over the course of the next 12 hours before the banner comes out, pick up any of the tech ones you can from the barbershop, and then of course go ahead and buy some of the STR ones with gems. I do think he is the least likely one that you need to farm though, because obviously, like I say, you can, if you really want to, just go ahead and farm stage 1 a bunch. But I know there's a ton of people out there who want to get this man to LR as quickly as possible. And one of the most annoying things when a new Prime Battle LR comes out is you get the 4 copies to open their paths. You get a couple more copies, get them to, like, say, SA8. And then you do, like, 3 or 4 runs in a row where you don't get another drop. And it's like, it's really frustrating because you want to move on to the next stage and start awakening him to a TUR, but you haven't got the final copies to get him to SA10 yet. So I do think he's the least important one. One I would definitely say to do is the Whis, because as we talked about in the summon, should you summon video yesterday, Whis will be added into the general pool after this banner goes away. So even if you don't pull him now, having the 9 like UR copies of this guy in your box just means that as soon as you pull the STR one, you can feed him straight in, get him fully leveled up and SA10. So I would say definitely do that. And if you are going to buy Cooler with the coins, or if you're going to go in on the banner for a couple of multis, definitely farm up the Cooler. I would say it's easy, much better to farm than it is to buy this one. Even if the event's not available, just use keys and go into the event and farm up this guy. So there you go. Obviously nothing new here, like not like rocket science, nothing crazy, like, you know, mind-breaking information. But just for those of you, I know that like the night before a new celebration starts is kind of always the time when people have the least amount of things to do. So obviously if you want to put your stamina to its best use, that is some stuff that you can do to get ready for when all the new units drop. So I will be summoning on the banner. I've got a collab planned. It won't be out as soon as the banner drops, because obviously we're going to record the summon straight away. Then we've got to sort out all the editing and stuff like that. But it will be up on the same day, so keep an eye out for that. And yeah, good luck to everybody else who is going to summon as well. So let me know what your plans are. Are you going to be farming up any of this stuff? I've got to finish off the Whis farm, and then that's the only one I actually need to do. And then yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. And like I said, good luck on the summons. So that's going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. You can follow me on Twitch or join my Discord. The link is in the description below. And I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.